Boo! What's going on, everybody? I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, opening up Advantage Diecast's Southside Warehouse doors on another episode of Toy Talk. Today, I've got some great diecast models from the movie Ghostbusters to talk about a little later on, so stay tuned. I'm betting that you've all seen Ghostbusters before, and I'll bet you probably enjoy a good ghost story from now and then. Well, besides the toys, I really enjoy going out and exploring old, abandoned houses and mansions. Sometimes at night. I went to explore an old, abandoned mansion one dark Halloween night. It was stormy with rain, thunder, and lightning. I went to this particular mansion because I had heard that something unusual had been reported happening there. Nothing like a murder, more like something out of the supernatural, and I just wanted to see for myself. Something like curiosity, or maybe something else. Driving to the mansion, I became uneasy, like my mind was being prepared to see something out of the ordinary. Arriving at the mansion, I found it to be a terrible, run-down old place. At least the doors and the windows were still closed. That's always a plus. Leaving my car out on the street, I made my way through the vine-covered gate and through the front yard that was in bad need of weeding. I'd say back in the day, this yard must have been really something when it was well tended. Reaching the front steps, I climbed the steps, I crossed over the porch, and I entered the large mansion through the large wooden front doors. Upon entering the mansion, I turned on my flashlight and I moved from the entryway into the large room off to my left. This room, it must have been the living room. It was empty, save for a piano. Next, I went on down into a long, dark corridor. As I was walking down this corridor and about to turn into one of the smaller rooms, I noticed something at the end of the corridor, and that really startled me. Now, I'm not one to scare easily, but someone or something had crossed the corridor holding a candle. I thought I was alone in the house. I walk down to the end of the corridor and I find two rooms. One off to my left and one off to my right. I first look into the one off to my left, and I find it to be a shallow room with only maybe just being a large closet. I looked into this room first because I thought it's where the figure had come from. But no, this room was empty. There was nothing in it. Next, I looked over into the room over on my right. I guess it was a large dining room, as I found a large, broken down table and a couple of chairs. As I entered the room, I felt a cold chill come over me. No one was in the room, and there was no other apparent exit besides the door that I had just entered. The further I walked into the room, the colder it got. Suddenly, my flashlight went out, and I decided to do the same. Quite frankly, guys, I was scared. I left the house as quick as I could, and I could feel that cold presence following me all the way to the steps of the porch. I went to my car, and I still felt like I was being followed. I got in my car and I drove away. As I got farther away from the house, that cold feeling slowly went away. After leaving the house, I found the nearest phone and called the Ghostbusters. Over the years, many manufacturers have made models of Ecto-1 and Ecto-1A, from Johnny Lightning to Hot Wheels to even Ertl's Joyride Studios. Johnny Lightning, well, they started out with only the Ecto-1A tooling. Then they modified it and they came out with a regular Ecto-1, because there actually is quite a bit of differences in the equipment packs on the two vehicles. So you just can't pass off an Ecto-1A as an Ecto-1. But then they brought them all back, and to make it really cool, they did what no one else has ever done. They revised the tooling again, and then they made it as the black and weathered old Hearse that they actually bought to turn into Ecto-1 in the very first Ghostbusters movie. And that's the first time it's ever been replicated as a model, is by Johnny Lightning. And it is pretty cool. They also came out with a slimed version of Ecto-1A after Slimer ran over it. That's a pretty neat model, where it's got a figurine of Slimer and then you can see the slime all over the car. Nice. Another one that they did was they did a street scene where they actually included a resin piece, which is the building next door and the firehouse with the Ghostbusters logo. How cool is that? That way you can actually have the firehouse to show off where Ghostbusters lived. And then that one came with Ecto-1A as well. Another set they made that came out of Ghostbusters 2, which is where Ecto-1A was Vigo's Fortress of Slime. And it has a very nice rendition of Ecto-1A, and it also has a New York City police car in it, which is a 1977 Dodge Monaco, and it's unit number 5602 NYPD. And the other really cool feature on this one is it has 4 figures of all the Ghostbusters. It has a figure of Ray, Egon, Winston, and Pete Venkman. And these are actually some of the finest 64 scale figures I've ever seen. And they really look just like the guys in their faces and with their suits and their the proton packs. Very, very nice. Johnny Lightning has probably done the best in 64 scale of the Ecto-1 cars, and the most complete being the fact that they actually made the original Hearse before it was actually turned into Ecto-1 or Ecto-1A. Also, Hot Wheels has made a Ghostbusters Ecto-1, and they did another neat one. They did Ecto-1 from the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon show. Talk about a fun vehicle to find. And it's really the only one of that one that I think has ever been done as well. So Hot Wheels had a pretty rare piece in there. Now, to get into bigger sizes, Ertl's Joyride Studios did a 1/28th scale Cadillac Ambulance as Ecto-1. And with it, they also included a Slimer figure, which was pretty cool. However, it's just a little bit too small. It was in their Joyride Studios line, but it was just a little too small to fit with all the 1/18th scales. But never fear, in order to finish that off, we had Hot Wheels back in action in their Hot Wheels Elite line, which was a very popular line of 1/18th scale cars, which is mostly all movie cars, like they did A-Team and a whole bunch of the Batmans. They were not cheap vehicles then, and they've since long been discontinued, the entire line, but they came out with a true 1/18th scale Ecto-1 from the original 1984 Ghostbusters movie. Then they came out with Ecto-1A from the Ghostbusters 2 movie. So you can actually have both versions in a very large scale that makes all the detail very, very easy to see. Talk about cool. Now, for talking about the 64 scale series, Hot Wheels released the Ecto-1
and the Ecto-1A in their Retro Entertainment series, which were the slightly more expensive models. They also released plain old Ecto-1 in the 97-cent card, which is to be the cheap one that goes on the Walmart shelves. Very nice model, but just not quite as nice. It doesn't have the rubber tires and the die-cast body, but it's a very nice model. And that's in the 64 scale. Now for the 2016 movie, which is kind of the forgotten movie we don't really care much about, but for the Ecto collectors out there, Hot Wheels did do the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-2. Ecto-1 was their Cadillac Ambulance Ecto-1, and then they did the motorcycle, which was Ecto-2, and they did those both as individuals and in a 2-pack set, so they can come out pretty good. They did a really nice rendition of both of those. So if you're into that movie, no problem getting models. Even if you don't like the movie and you like collecting Ecto-1s, there you go. You can get both of them. So you can collect every Ecto-1 that has ever been made has been done in either the small 64 scale, or if you like the originals, they've been done in the large scale. And with a new movie coming, I'm willing to bet you that we're going to get a copy of the new Ecto-1. From the trailer, it looks like there's a weathered out version where it's kind of just been neglected. And who knows, probably there'll be another version. So I'm betting either Johnny Lightning or Hot Wheels and their 64th lines are going to release those as well, because Ghostbusters is just such a very popular line of cars.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below on what you liked or what you didn't like about the video. And I just know that you've got some friends out there that would enjoy this video, so go on and give it a share with the share button. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button to let YouTube know that you enjoyed this video, and make sure you tap the subscribe button and join my YouTube family. I really appreciate each and every member of my YouTube family. I'm Logan, the 64th Gear Jammer Skeele, and I'll be back in the warehouse soon for another episode of Toy Time.